Welcome back to the Market Snapshot. Today we're going to be taking a look at what's going on this past week in the real estate market. Home sales have been up yet again. Interest rates are holding steady, so the market is still absolutely crazy. So stay tuned to figure out exactly what's going on. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Market Snapshot. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the Wasatch Front Living YouTube channel. You won't regret it because you'll get notified of all of our cool videos that we put out, like these market updates, city tours, and certain homes you can buy in certain neighborhoods all across Utah. So lots of cool content to keep you informed in the Utah real estate market. Okay, now on to the statistics. So days on market, last week we were sitting at 25 days. This week we've dropped pretty drastically to 21 days on market. This past week has been absolutely nuts as far as houses going under contract and the amount of time that people are using to close on houses. So 21 days is extremely fast. Typical is anywhere around a month, maybe give or take a little bit, but 21 days is very, very fast. And so that's an incentive that people can use to give confidence to the seller that their contract is going to close. So that's, again, something that people can use. And if you have the ability to do that, and it's a house that's in pretty good shape without a lot of things that could possibly be wrong, it's not that dangerous of a move from a buyer's perspective to really expedite that contract time as far as the due diligence, financing deadlines, and then settlement deadline. If you can do it, it's definitely a way to get an offer accepted and get into a home right now. Now, average sales price last week we're at $423,000. This week we've jumped up to $449,000. So the market, as we've been talking in these other videos, it has been steadily climbing, and it's going to continue to climb into the foreseeable future. The market is absolutely flooded with buyers. And what that is doing is it's creating these bidding wars where buyers are willing to cover these appraisal spreads. And appraisers are seeing that there's so many buyers, it's so competitive, so they're wanting to match these purchase prices because obviously the home is worth that much because there's lots of buyers willing to pay that much. So these high appraisals and these buyers willing to cover spreads are creating really high price comps and continuing to make home prices rise. So home prices, I don't see, and I don't anticipate them coming down anytime soon unless something dramatic happens because of how many buyers there are, because of the low interest rates, and because of the willingness of the buyers and the appraisers to make these purchase prices happen at these high prices. So prices are on the rise, and I don't anticipate, like I was saying, unless something dramatic happens, them coming down anytime soon. Okay, on to the number of sold homes. Last week we're at 707 sold homes. This week we've jumped up to 1,023 sold homes. And so, like I've kind of just been saying throughout this video, throughout other videos, the market isn't slowing down. I mean, we see it in active listings going down and under contracts going down, but the number of sold homes has continued to just stay steady, pretty dang steady. I mean, there's been a little bit of fluctuation, but we've seen a lot of weeks where it's been around 950 and above and into the thousands. And we see that again this week. So lots of home selling very fast and for very high purchase prices. So market is insane right now. Okay, number of active listings. Last week we're at 1,553. This week we've dropped to 1,490 active listings. So continuing to see that decline for a little bit of a slower period, but based on the market, it might inspire some sellers to really put their houses on the market and make that active listings jump. Though, like we've been saying, that the active listings have been steadily declining, not at a big rate, but definitely steadily. So we'll have to wait and see where that goes and how that affects home prices and other things. All right, last week for under contract homes, we were at 5,256 under contract homes. This week we're at 5,158 under contract homes. And that just goes along with kind of what we've been talking, what the theme has been, is those steady declines. But same as with all those other categories, we're going to have to wait and see what happens because there's so many buyers that it might inspire people to keep listing their homes, which means more and more homes will go under contract, the number will rise. But we'll have to wait and see. Interest rate hasn't changed much, but it did go up a little bit. But last week we were at 2.81%. This week we're at 2.85%, which again isn't a big jump, but there is a change, and it does affect the amount of money you pay per month and the amount of money you'll pay over the 30 years of your loan. Always keep that in mind as a buyer and even as a seller, that if you see a low interest rate, it might be a good time to sell, because you know there will be a lot of motivated buyers out there. But as a buyer, it tells you that you can save a lot of money over the life of your loan, which is always a great thing. Okay, so this week our real estate term is called buy down. And this again is something that applies to the financing side of the real estate transaction rather than really the Rep C or any kind of the negotiating in that way. So if you don't have a perfect credit score or a really good credit score, but you still want to secure a really sweet rate, the lender will offer something called buy down, which allows you to pay upfront interest to buy down the interest rate of your loan. So if you decide to buy down your rate, you can expect to pay a couple of grand there to buy down your interest rate to secure that better rate to save more money in the long run. So obviously that would increase your closing costs and other things. And like we've said before, closing costs can vary lender to lender, and the amount of your buy down can also vary lender to lender. So when you're looking to acquire financing, it's always a good idea to shop and get a better idea of what those options might be for you. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today on the Wasatch Front Living YouTube channel and for this series we called the Market Snapshot. I hope you guys learned something. If I missed anything, or if you have any additional questions outside of what we covered, please feel free to drop a comment, or you can always text me, call me, or email me. If you're looking to buy a home or sell a home, reach out to me as well with those same options. I'm really easy to get a hold of. If I don't answer, I'm usually just with another client or in a different kind of meeting. Feel free to text me if you're comfortable with that, or leave a voicemail. I'll always call you back. Thank you again, though, for watching the Market Snapshot. I really appreciate all your guys' support. And again, I hope you learned something, because that's the whole point of this, is to educate and help you guys stay informed with what's going on in the Utah real estate market. But that's all we got for you today. So thank you again for joining us, and I'll talk to you next time on the Market Snapshot.